Hi everybody, thanks for checking out my review for this Lyshade shade sail. That's a mouthful there. I'm glad I made it through. But anyway, I started looking for one of these shade sails after the property management company that runs this house chopped down the top of my shade trees I rent, so I don't get a whole lot of say-so in what they do. And it was really quite devastating because I have my hammocks out there and they took away all my shade for the summer. So I needed something that looked nice, but that was also functional. So I did what you guys are probably doing now, dug through about 900 different reviews, weighed the price to the benefits to the reviews, and I settled on Lyshade because they seem like a really great product. The price is awesome for what you get. And so I'm hoping the quality matches. I'm going to get it set up and we'll kind of run you through that. And I will let you know what I feel about the quality. So just to let you know what's in there, we'll just open that up. So there's instructions. We don't need instructions. I'll probably read them. I'm just trying to be manly and tell you that I don't read instructions. But anyway, so I got this specific brand and this specific one because one, I measured it out and this is the right size, but I also wanted one that was woven. I saw a whole bunch that were waterproof and I don't want waterproof. And the reason why is because it doesn't breathe as well. And part of the enjoyment of being outside is to feel the breeze. So if you're blocking it all out with your shade, it kind of kills some of the enjoyment of being outside. Also, it's going to be over my grass, so I don't want it to be waterproof because I actually want the water to be able to fall through and get to my grass. So that's why I chose this one. Consider your options before you're buying. Make sure you get the one that's right for you. And for heaven's sake, read the title. So this one came with the hardware, and the reason I say read the title is because I was reading through some of the other ones that specifically said in the title it doesn't come with the hardware, and then they were getting bad reviews because somebody said it didn't come with hardware. I'm like, well, read your title. But anyway, that's my rant. So anyway, I specifically got one that came with the hardware because that's what I wanted. It comes with these turnbuckles. You'll need these to make sure that this is nice and tight because they wear out faster if they're not installed correctly, if they're not installed tight. It also came with these mounts here. I'm just gonna dump those out. So it came with 4 of these mounts. These can go into the poles or into the side of your house. I'm probably going to mount it under the eaves like that in my house. I'll show you how I do that after I get it done. And then it comes with a couple carabiners so that you can actually disconnect it quickly if you need to. All in all, so far, I think that the quality right now, I'm happy with it. I feel like these are actually this is good hardware. You know, it's not flimsy. It will hold up to what I need to do. It'll hold up to probably years and years and years of use. The turnbuckles are nice. They move quite nicely and easily. They don't bind. The quality, it seems like a good thickness. I'm looking at the stitching. The stitching looks great too. That's really important. It's double stitched, which is really important because that's where it's going to fray. So you can actually see that they hemmed it and then double stitched it, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside. I'm going to kind of lay this out, get an idea of how I want to set it up, and then I'll run you through. Here I am outside. I want to show you why I'm so sad. Look at those those trees were huge, and they completely covered my hammocks, and now they don't. So this is the sail. I kind of set it out how I wanted it. I think I may have gotten it a little too small, actually. I measured wrong, that's my bad. But it'll still work, and it should still give me the shade that I want. I also really didn't want it to be huge because I don't want all of my grass covered in shade because it doesn't grow as good. So I just kind of wanted to isolate it to over my hammocks. So we're gonna see if that works. So the plan is, I'm gonna stretch it from the corners, and I'm gonna put right underneath the eaves there, I'm gonna mount some of the hardware. Then I'm going to bring it up here to these trees here and attach it onto one of those branches. I'm really trying to decide if I want to just screw the buckle into the tree itself. If it was my own home, I wouldn't have a problem doing that at all. You're really not going to hurt the tree. But since I'm renting, I might get in trouble for that. So I might try it with a rope first, but we'll see. And then I'm going to stretch it all the way over to that side, and we'll see how that works. I did want to point out, once I got it out, I was looking at these corners. This is where all the tension is going to be. Look at how awesome that is. That is so well made. The stitching there is just insane. The buckle's really solid. It's got this strap. Because it's made to actually be tightened pretty tight, this is perfect. I mean, I'm not going to hesitate at all to crank down on that because that's pretty darn secure. So far I like it, but the last thing I have to do is set it up and see how it goes there. You can see the sun starting to come out now, and you can see the reason why. I just want some shade over my hammocks. All right, let's get this going, and I'll be back with you. Done here. I set up this side. I decided to go ahead and use ropes, so I just attached them with a knot, and you can use any knot that'll hold. And I had these ropes laying around, so I decided to try them. They might be a little small for this, I don't know, but they're able to pull tight, so that's the important part. So it's nice and pulled tight on the one side, and I'll go ahead and attach it now to the other side. I just wanted to mention that there's a few different ways. If you measure better than I did and you get the right size, or if you're custom putting in poles, sorry, I almost fell off the ladder there. Or if you're custom putting in poles, you don't have to have this little piece attached here. There, if I can focus, it's a little bright now. You don't have to have this rope attached here. You can connect this loop directly to your pole with the carabiner or the turnbuckle. You can attach it right to that mounting. That's the ideal way to do it. I'm doing it kind of the renter's way, where I'm trying not to damage anything, so I decided not to put holes in the tree. Honestly though, putting some holes in your tree, it's not gonna hurt it. You're gonna be fine. So anyway, that's the way I decided to attach it, and let's go ahead and get it finished up. So far, so good. It looks great. I have the mount mounted here. I tried to hide it a little bit so the property management company didn't see it. But I have it mounted right here. I only have 2 screws in it, and it is more than solid. I would recommend doing 4 if you can, but literally I could hang from that because those are big screws. So just make sure that it's secure is the big thing. Ideally, this is going to be, instead of underneath like this would be mounted that way, so that you get a straight shot to it, so that the turnbuckle is grabbing on here instead of on there. But I'm making do because I got to do what I got to do. So I'm telling you, make sure you have all 4 in, and then I'm doing something different. So do as I say, not as I do. All right, so with these turnbuckles, the way that I've always done it, and somebody might yell at me, is I'll actually spread it out. And so see how I turn that. This is how it comes. It comes this way, really close together. But I want to have some more wiggle room. So you just twist it like this. See, that gets tighter. So what happens is, as you're twisting it to tighten it up, those come closer together. So if you don't give yourself a lot of room, you don't have a lot of room to tension it. So like that's where it bottoms out. So I'm going to twist it the other way, and I'm going to spread these out a little bit, just like this. It doesn't have to be quite that much, but spread it out enough so that you have some give on either end, like that. So now you have this much thread, so you can actually tighten it down that much before you bottom it out and you can't tighten anymore. So spread it out a little bit before you tie it. You can see I have this third side up. Basically all I did was just tie a knot around that turnbuckle. It's getting dark, so it's kind of hard to see. But then all I'm going to do, I can't really do it one-handed, but you just twist this way, and that's going to tighten it up, and it'll bring that last side a little bit snugger. So I'm going to get that all tightened down, and then we'll be on to the fourth side. All right, so I have it up. It's getting kind of dark now, so you can't really see a whole lot. I finally got it finished. It actually really didn't take that long, probably, I'd say less than a half hour start to finish. It would be a little less if you had a second person helping you, but I was going up and down the ladders trying to split the difference between the trees and get it positioned where I want. Which brings me to a point, which is you need to really track your sun and decide where you want it positioned. So you can see a great deal. I'm going to take you this way. This is where the second hammock is. A great deal actually overhangs this way, and that's because the sun in the morning comes from that side. And so all the way until the late afternoon, I should have sun, which is when I typically use the hammocks. I'm not going to use them as it gets dark, especially because I have that giant tree over there. So as the sun goes behind the giant tree, I get shade from that direction. So what I really wanted was shade from this direction, so I set it up this way. So track your sun, make sure you set it up exactly how you want. Measure twice before you buy and get the size that you want. But as far as the quality so far, I'm really impressed. I like that it blocks out the shade, but you can still feel a little bit of the breeze coming through. The seams held up really nice. I was tugging hard on those things, and I didn't hear any creaking or moaning. It seems like it's really well built. I don't see any snags. I've gone over it now that it's nice and snug. I've gone over it a few times. There's no snags, no imperfections in the fabric, which is cool. I have some work to do. I think I need to tighten it up a little bit, but what I want to do is wait until the sun is positioned where it actually comes out and it's not behind my giant tree. and then I'll make the final adjustments, snug it up, and this thing should be good. So I'll show you tomorrow when it's a little less cloudy how well it does with the sun, and give you my final thoughts. All right, so the sun came out and you can see that my hammocks are perfectly in the shade. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to make a couple points before I wrap up. Sorry about the shakiness there. You can see this side here has a little bit of sagginess, and the reason for that isn't because there's anything wrong with the sail, it's because I set it up wrong. So what needs to happen is this needs to be moved over just a little bit there to tighten it up. And the reason I know that, going back under the hammock, sorry, is because look how perfect and tight this side is. So if you're getting a little sagging, basically all you need to do is make sure that your guide wires there at the end right there are actually attached in the right spot to pull it snug. But as far as the canvas goes, or the sail goes, this thing is actually really, really nice. I can sit here in the hammocks and be completely in the shade, and that is awesome. It was really easy to set up. It took maybe, I don't know, less than a half hour, and I was going slow trying to get it exactly where I wanted it. But this also just, you know, begs the point to double check your sun. Make sure that you know where your sun is so that you can put this exactly where you want it. I'm a little limited because I had to use the trees. I'm not putting up poles, but if you're putting up poles, you can position them to give you the shade 100% in the exact right spot. I'm really actually super impressed because it looks like the sun comes through, but it really doesn't. Like, we're still sitting right in the shade. So it's pretty impressive shade sail here. So all in all, I don't have anything to complain about with this, so I give it 5 stars.